Hello and welcome to the Comicspiracy, episode 582. We are recording a little late. Sorry for delay. We are recording. This is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who else is here this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin.
And not Charlie.
Oh, it's Lane. It's Lane. Hello, Lane. In theory, Toby may jump on. If he jumps on the next, I'll say 2 to 3 minutes, we'll restart this podcast. However, if he jumps on later than that, I'll just edit him in. Sorry. Last week we just had busy stuff was going on. People were gone. Toby and Lane and Kevin had come back from WonderCon. WonderCon?
Yeah.
Yes.
What day is this? WonderCon. Yeah, WonderCon. That's
It's the day after your birthday, man. Happy birthday.
It is. But thank you. But mostly I was trying to think of what the hell convention was. There's 90 conventions now. So, so we didn't want to record. And then we were going to record Sunday, but Monday was my birthday, and I went out Sunday. So I was gone all day. So I was like, fuck it. We'll just record Tuesday. So we have a lot to talk about. But I do want to hear, I was hearing convention talk. So I don't know, Kevin, if you and Lane have any fun convention stories from this, whatever this was. What the hell was this? WonderCon? Yeah.
Well, Lane should,
again, I can't keep it in my head.
Lane should start off because those guys were there before me.
And I was gonna say, Kevin, it was 2 weeks ago at this point for you guys. So
right,
nothing like breaking news.
Yeah.
Remember all the best stories.
Fresh material.
Yeah, you're making it hard now. Now you're making me forget what happened.
I did it on
well,
purpose.
Here, I'll help Lane. When
When
did you and Toby go down there? The con was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, we went down Wednesday night, or I guess Thursday morning. I guess technically. So we got there noon on the first day, noonish.
Now,
or on Thursday.
WonderCon in Anaheim Convention Center, right across from the old Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want
it's
to
just a
preface
3-day con now.
I want to preface Lane and Toby leaving with Lane, or at least Toby, tried to raid our blank covers at the warehouse to see if there's any he could take with him.
Yeah. Before the convention, Toby is now all in on the blank cover con commission, con sketch. So that's they're very popular. Very, very popular.
So are you just auto ordering him every single blank cover?
No, he wanted some of the Batman ones, but I think it just depends on the right person. But yeah, people come and ask for the blanks all the time. We used to have a ton of them, but we've sold through, and we don't sell quite as many up front now because there's so many of them. But yeah, especially the things like the Batman ones still tend to sell pretty well. So
yeah, they're easier to get too. I think Toby's all in because it's cheaper and artists are more willing to do them because they don't take as long.
Yeah.
So how did you guys feel that first day, by the way? I never asked this when we were down there.
Let's see. We got down there early. Of course, Toby, he fell asleep for an hour or so. And then he was trying to get some work done. And then we met Lord Mesa and his wife. And we actually went and got our badges.
We had Lord on the podcast
Yes.
Years ago. A couple times, right? I think twice, maybe. Long time con friend for you and Toby.
And then surprise, surprise, we went to see John Wick 4. That was our first night.
How many times did Toby fall asleep during it?
Not 100% sure because I wasn't trying to look at him the whole time, but I think at least twice from the conversation afterwards. Anyway,
of course.
He saw a very interestingly different movie again, but at least he got the main points this time. We'll see how many times it takes to get the rest. But yeah, that was the night before, and then we just got up early, hit the con. Actually, Toby stayed in the hotel to do some work. He actually got stuck doing actual work. his job work. So I hit the con early. We both met up at the Adam Hughes line. Adam was doing, I guess he had different times scheduled. He did like signings for like 2 hours, then he would do sketches for 2 hours, then he would do like a signing for 2 hours. And so we just kind of kept meeting at the different times to hit up Adam and Allison. And then he also had some pre-done sketches that were available to show. So he was he jumped on those really fast, Toby.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, like Frank Cho does this regularly now, right? A lot of these people bring pre-done sketches to the con. It's just, you know, you don't get your custom thing, but it's a sketch and you skip the line. And if it's like, yeah, perfect, that's awesome, that's the character I want, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a great way to kind of get that done. You know, some people want like real specific things, and that's going to cost more and take time. But yeah, for the guys, if they can crank out, I don't know, how many sketches did he have done? Like 3 or 4, or like a dozen, or half dozen, or something.
They were mostly remarks on books that already, just on covers. So he had about 10 of them, and then he had one actual full bore sketch.
Because you Phoenix. Got when we did the con, you got that Frank Cho one, right? And that was but he did that.
That was a commission.
That wasn't a commission. Yeah, that wasn't already done, right?
No.
Right. But on the comic, on the sketch cover.
Yeah.
So, it makes a lot of sense for these guys to come in and do a couple, especially if they can do the remarks, which are quick, or they can do them on the blank covers.
Yeah, it's
because getting you're not getting an Adam Hughes commission, not a real commission, it's fuck. What's his real commission price? 10 grand, 20 grand.
Yeah, he doesn't do commissions anymore because of all the anger against flippers. But he was working on pieces at the show, like commission quality pieces. That basically the thing was, as soon as he finished it, he would put into the portfolio of stuff that he had for sale.
Yeah, well, how much were those? Like 10 grand or something?
No, actually, surprisingly, the one he finally the last one he finished was a Catwoman, and it went for 2,600, I believe.
Oh, it's not bad. But it's like 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11, like full colored,
bigger, but just Copic colors, black and white.
Okay,
and,
yeah. Ryan, there was a Supergirl in his portfolio, a flying Supergirl that was, I think it was priced at 2,500.
Yeah, that's not bad. I guess
and
it's not
was
colored,
amazing,
no backgrounds or something.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, man,
that's
it
actually cheaper than I thought it would be. It wasn't
a cheesecake image. It was like a flying superhero image.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was gone immediately.
Yeah, no kidding.
2,500. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you want, what was he charging like towards the end there when he was doing like real commissions? It had to have been.
Well, the last ones he did were auctions, so he would put 2 auctions on eBay, and whoever won it got the 2 slots.
Okay.
Last I heard, one of them ended at I think 5,000, and I think the others ended around 3.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to want them.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly it was just wandering around for me anyway. I had a Funko thing, so I had to go grab the Funko on the first day, the lottery ticket.
How is Funko doing these days? Line a little shorter, or still pretty busy? Still pretty crazy.
The line's actually still pretty crazy. People are still trying to get in to get them. There's a crowd of people outside right outside as you exit. Tons of people just sitting around trying to trade or trying to say, "Hey, can I buy that off you?" But inside, it was pretty smooth. Like, they've done it so many times, it was pretty good. Except for when I first got in there, I went in. My time slot was right after lunch, so there just weren't that many cashiers, so it took a while. But beyond,
when we were talking about Funko a few weeks back, I never was under the impression they were going out of business or anything crazy like that. But they really need to scale back. They're popular, but all the extra lines and all the extra products they do, stick with the thing that made you big, stick with the thing that made you famous, and do it well. There's so much garbage that they put out. I don't know.
Well, I think the problem with their product, though, is you only want the newest and the latest, or a lot of the fans.
And that's fine. But you gotta dump that print run, right? You gotta drop it way low.
Yeah. They should probably drop some of the print runs, and then on top of that, there's all these exclusives that help boost their bottom line, all the retail exclusives. So, and then of course you go to a con like this where like everything's exclusive for them, so everything's profit.
Yeah. So you guys were there all 3 days. Kevin, you was there Friday or Saturday, Sunday?
No, I drove down Friday morning, and then I drove home like Sunday at lunchtime. So
he was like crazy, man.
Days.
Friday, I don't know how you stayed up so late, man.
Oh well, yeah, that was. But I love that show. I've always liked that show. It's just the right size. I mean, it's not going to be as something like C2E2 or New York or San Diego, but as a mid-sized show, I really like that con and always have. Bay Area version, LA version, Anaheim version. But yeah, so Lane, what was I going to, without Toby here, I'm trying to remember what was the, well, here's something we can share. This was, I have never seen this at a con, and it was wonderful. This was the Mitch situation. Yes. So Mitch, Tom,
Garrett's King,
Doc Shaner are sitting side by side.
The dream team.
Yes.
The dream team.
So
this comic sketch art.
Why does this sound like they're starting to tell a joke?
There's a line, one huge line for all of them. So if you just wanted one of those guys, people are still standing in the line for all of them. I didn't take any of that shit after a while. But anyway, that's not the story. So before they're back, there's the line has formed and is waiting. Is this right, Lane? Am I getting this right? They weren't back yet. So there's this one dude lurking up at the table, and there's a table rep from Comic Sketch Art. There's always a table rep for when the people aren't there, or when they are there to process the payments and stuff like that. So this dude is standing there talking to her, and Mitch comes back from, I think they were at lunch or dinner, comes back, and this guy has paid for, is it 3, right? 3?
Well, he pays for it immediately right away before she can call the line.
Right, yes. He pays for 3 sketches. Okay, so Mitch comes back, sits down, and this dude is just like right there like a vulture, like pouncing on a corpse on the savannah. And so he draws one, and then it's like, here's the moment where the table rep, and she's a delightful person. I have nothing but nice things to say about her. I'm saying in this one particular case, here's where the table rep steps in and say, now we're going to have some people get their books signed, and then he'll do your next sketch. And then we're going to have some more people get their books signed, and then he'll do your next sketch. That wasn't said. So Mitch has to draw 3 pictures back to back to back, finish one, immediately pick up and start the next one. This line is like forming, and I believe it's 40 minutes where this line does not move, because that's how long it takes him to do these 3 drawings.
Oof.
40 minutes of people just standing there. No progress is made. None. Nobody has moved. So as soon as the last drawing gets done and this guy gets his shit and he steps away, the entire line breaks into applause. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
It was
That's
amazing.
Great.
And so then Mandy is the name of the Comic Sketch Art rep, looks over at me with like a grimace on her face. She's like, very quietly, she's like, sorry guys, like that. But the whole line is, and this dude, the guy, you couldn't see his face. So Lane, what did you call him? The line cutter. So the rest of the weekend was tracking the line cutter, because that's what he did by lurking up there at the table and then just paying for those drawings. He jumped everybody who was in the line. And so
why didn't anyone kick him to the back?
Because it hadn't started yet. It was like a guy just standing at the table browsing. Like the signing time hadn't started. He got there way before the signing time.
He was there before the line started, or the line was already formed and he just rolls up and pays?
He rolled up first. Like I was standing there first. I was actually the first in line.
Yeah.
He rolled up once, talked to Mandy, left, came back after the line had already started forming. There's probably about 10 people behind me.
Okay.
Then he started drawing with her for the 30 minutes until Mitch showed up.
Yeah.
And then that's why, like, as soon as Mitch showed up, I was waiting, because usually what she does is she'll signal for the line to come on over to say, we're going to start the signing.
Yeah.
But I was like waiting for her. She wouldn't do it. So I walked up and was going to ask her. As soon as I walk up, he starts going, okay, well, I need this. I need this sign. And he's like holding every book one at a time. I need him to sign on this page. I need him to sign this one. And she's trying, because she's asking, well, what do you want done? And he's trying to count each one. And then he's like, oh, and I want 3 commissions from him. I want from Shaner. I want something from Tom. And so he basically pays for all of this at once. And then just plants himself there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I timed it because
okay.
it was 40 minutes of no line progress at all because of one person. But yeah, I've never seen it before. Like, you get the applause of shame at the end of a con signing. It was all my years of cons, I've never seen this, and it was wonderful. Oh, it was magnificent. So every time we saw that guy way back in a line, it was extra satisfying for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, you feel like they'd be like, all right, you want 3, go wander, come back in an hour at the end of the signing. He'll do them between, just mill around, like, we're going to go around and do stuff.
Well, I got one from Shaner. It's the one I sent you, Ryan. And I very deliberately said to him and to Mandy, I'm like, I'm not going to stand here and hold the lineup and make him draw it now. Here's my sketchbook. I'll come back in 2 hours. He can doodle in between signatures, draw an eyeball, set it aside, draw another eyeball, whatever. That just seems like a way better. It's not like I invented that system. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just saying that seems like a way more efficient system than having somebody just basically forced labor there.
It's called common courtesy.
Well, yeah. I mean, just pick, but see, either the guy line cutter either has no social awareness or doesn't care, and you could choose which one you think is worse.
I don't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been to enough conventions. It's a little from column A and a little from column B. Well, like I've been with Lane when he's gotten commissions done, right? And it's the same sort of thing. And it's 10, 15 minutes. It's one. He did Tom King and Mitch Garrett's when we were at the San Francisco con. But if I have to stand there for 10, 15 minutes while someone's drawing, I think that's okay. But yeah, if it's 3, 4. All this additional stuff.
Yeah, and don't do like 3 in a row or like.
Yeah,
usually
come back the next day.
Yeah, if I know it's going to take a while, I usually make sure that people are just getting signatures get through first, because that's so much faster and easier than sitting on a sketch.
Yeah. Well, frustrating but funny story. So,
yeah. But it was like it was a pretty low key con. I don't know what we went out with Lord and his friends both nights that I was there. And then, I bought a couple of art pieces and some comics, and it was just, I only had to go to the ATM once with with my enabler, who's also on this podcast right now. But yeah, it was cool. I think I think I'll hold up as without Toby here to I think I will hold up as my greatest con accomplishment was the pure accident on the last day. I was walking by, of all places, the Big Wow booth. Like, Big Wow, for those who don't know, was a local Bay Area con for years. But they set up at other cons just as a booth selling stuff. I'm walking by the Big Wow booth. And, this is the last day. This is when I usually buy stuff that I don't want to carry around. And looking around, and all of a sudden, they have these bookshelves just of like archives, that kind of books. And all of a sudden, there, I won't say pristine, but in a very nice condition copy, is my favorite book from childhood, which is called Secret Origins of the DC Superheroes. I still have my original copy, and I'm talking about from like single digit age. I still have my original copy, which is somehow still holding on after all these decades. And that thing was read to death when I was little. And I used to open it up and prop the pages open and try to draw the pictures exactly in the style of those artists. So that thing is trashed. And I just like, oh, this is my trash copy. And there they have a white pages, beautiful dust jacket hardcover version on the shelf for sale, including inside of it a letter from Denny O'Neil, because this is like an advanced copy they were sending to publish or to media from the publisher. And so there's a letter from Denny O'Neil, who edited the book, inside of the book. And there it is, just for sale. Just happened to stumble across it. Like, are you effing kidding me?
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would get a hardcover. And if I did, it would be like Dust Jacket missing.
What's it called?
Secret Origins of the DC Superheroes. It's got a Neil Adams cover. You'll see, like, if you find the right one, it's a black cover. It's got Superman right in the middle, like flying with one arm.
I've seen this. Yeah. I've seen this.
Yeah. But now I'm the owner of 2 copies, and that is I got some cool art and stuff like that, but that is my greatest con pickup that was a pure accident because I happened to stop at that booth. Amazing. My childhood self would be thrilled with me.
And you also filled up your DC book quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. My DC, yes.
To the point where you are now contemplating.
No, it's not contemplating anymore. It's done. It's done. The DC book has now hit the 215 signature mark.
Nice.
And realistically, there are probably, because I counted this up when I got home, there are probably, without having to jam something in, like in a miniaturized signature, I can probably fit 6 more names in there. The time is, the mission is the 5-year mission, although it's been way longer than that. It's time for a new enterprise. Yeah, 215 signatures now in that book.
That is impressive. I would seal that away, put it somewhere nice, start the next one.
Well, I'm still taking the old one with me to show. You know what I mean?
Where?
Like,
yeah.
And plus, any old timers still get to squeeze in the old one. The new one will be for listeners. I bought a second copy of this book to start. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's madness. Writing signatures cost money. I'm buying a new book to start signatures. Like, what?
Never ends.
Yeah,
never ends.
But anyway, for the old timers who I might run into at a show like,
that's a question.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, for new listeners, Kevin has a book that he has been taking around the cons for quite a while now. That is the History of the DC Universe hardcover. That was signed by Marv Wolfman and George Perez originally. That's how it came.
Yep.
And he has added anyone and everyone that's worked at DC Comics. Started this when a lot of the Golden Age and Silver Age people are still with us.
First dated signature in that book is 1995.
And so the book is now full. But who do you want for that original
in that book?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of who do I want, and then there's who might I realistically get.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Alan Moore is out of the question.
All right.
Right.
So of
Frank, you got Frank Miller?
Nope. There'd be one.
Okay.
Keith Giffen would be one.
He's got to be around.
Oh yeah, but
Giffen's
he does East Coast shows.
East Coast cons. Yeah, Giffen's got to be an easy
get. Bolland.
Does he do?
No,
he doesn't do cons very much.
Yeah, he does. Cons? He does UK. He did a UK show.
Yeah.
I mean, you put like people like Morrison, Gaiman, who I have stuff signed by, just not in this book.
Just not in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be people who, and even if it's not a big gun, if I found somebody who was around in the Bronze Age or even the 80s, even the 90s, I'm thinking of the new book is for people who are like this century DC folks going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but I have to ask this, Lane, what time did you guys leave on Sunday after the con?
Well, we actually packed up pretty fast. So
in the car.
Yeah. The con ended at 5, I believe. So we had to be out by 6 from the hotel. So yeah, I met them. I took the car out early and met them across the street. And yeah, we were basically on the road at 6. Basically, after that, we met up. We drove about half an hour and we had dinner with them. And from that, after dinner, we took off to actually come home. So yeah, we had dinner. I think we were there until 8 or something. So we got home around 3:30 in the morning.
All
right.
I
just drove straight.
Yep. And I'm assuming both you guys got a lot of sleep while you were there in the room, right?
In the room?
In the hotel room.
Somewhat. I know I got more sleep the first night, but that's only because I was there by myself for a bit. But yeah, no, it was a good con. Got a lot done in a short amount of time. Got to see just about everyone I wanted to see. Even a couple surprise guests that we didn't know about.
Yeah. For folks who had, for most listeners, this statement is going to cover like 99.5% of listeners who haven't been to a con with Lane before. This is a high roller. I got to say, it's impressive. This is a high roller who brings books, right? You bring multiple books for people to sign, and then you make multiple trips through the lines to get everything covered.
If need be, yeah. Depends on the person. But yeah, for me, I was doing that for Adam because, well, since I had to start my collection over, and this is his first con in 5 years, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made it
that Jenny Frison line was insanity.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Was she doing sketches too?
No, she wasn't.
She was just signing, but that line was so damn long all the time. I think I got the record. I was in that line for only 20 minutes, and I think that was like the record by far from hearing other people talk around me.
Yeah, easily. I was probably in the line hour and a half each time. I did it twice, and I know in the beginning there were some people that just talked because we were there for like an hour without movement.
Yeah.
But she's really, really nice, and it's great to finally meet her.
Yeah.
And I did actually pick up a really, really old piece that she had in her portfolio that I really liked. So.
Yeah, so unfortunately, without Toby, we did not climb a fence this year. There wasn't anything.
What did Toby? Oh, Toby went to the panel for the Knights of the Zodiac. That was his big thing. And then he snuck into the signing.
That's right.
Because he didn't win the lottery, but he found a way, of course. This is Toby we're talking about.
Toby'd his way in.
Yes, exactly.
You just act like you belong, and they let you in anywhere.
And then he kept wandering around and disappearing, and then he would reappear, and he did a lot of "I'll see you there," and then halfway on the way he'll be like, "Oh, I met someone and we just talked." So yeah, you'd have to ask Toby exactly who he met. We don't even know.
Yeah, I didn't see very much of him at the con, just after hours.
But yeah, it was a great show. Like you said, I really like how it's a smaller show, but you still have big talent draw and people that you've never met before and got to meet. Plus the usuals. I mean, got to see Dustin and all the usuals too.
Yeah, I need to go back to WonderCon. It's been way too long since I've been there. I don't know if I could add it to Comic-Con. I do Comic-Con over WonderCon, but I think it might want to try to make my way down there sometime soon. Lee ain't go to Disneyland while I go to WonderCon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised you don't do that.
I mean, I think.
Plus, I think the tickets are cheaper.
Disneyland? Did we go to Disneyland when we went to WonderCon years ago? Probably. Yeah, I think we did.
Because I want to say they announced this year that if you bought tickets to WonderCon, you got a discount on Disneyland tickets.
They sometimes do like some kind of some sort of like cross promotion. Doesn't surprise me.
So anyway, sorry listeners, no after hours shenanigans, no weirdness.
That's all right.
Unless there might have been something happen that I just wasn't there for, but the person who would know that is not here. So
Toby didn't sneak into the Pirates of the Caribbean and sleep there overnight or anything.
With the Johnny Depp pirate.
Yeah.
Waiting for the rock.
Well, I'm sure Toby will be on at some point if he has anything random to talk about. I have a bunch of topics to talk about this week, a bunch of news.
But you didn't post anything, so we're all wondering.
Well, there's one big topic, and this may end up taking up the rest of the episode. We'll find out because it depends what we have to say about this. So this was on what's the 29th? This was on Wednesday. Wednesday? Is that right? It's Wednesday?
Yes.
Is it Tuesday? Wednesday? When the hell does this actually happen? Anyway.
Last week.
Disney. Yeah, last week. So for those that don't know, Disney is in the starting phase of going through some layoffs. And out of nowhere, at least to the general public, Ike Perlmutter, who was the CEO of Marvel Entertainment and one of the largest Disney shareholders, was let go from the company. Now, for some people probably know who he is. If I get this all correct, Kevin, please correct me if I make some mistakes here. But I want to get the kind of the timeline on this right. So he was basically one of the co-owners of Marvel Comics in the 90s. Marvel Entertainment was the company that owned Marvel Comics. It was Marvel Comics, Toy Biz. They bought Toy Biz, the toy company. Did he come from Toy Biz? Is that where he came from originally? He's in that mix somewhere. So these were the people that owned Marvel through the bankruptcy, and then post-bankruptcy, and into the start of the movies and TV shows. I mean, they did animated series, Marvel Entertainment. You've seen the logo. They've been around. They've been doing this stuff. They were, in the 90s. They owned everything, right? Marvel was a privately owned company. So post-bankruptcy, they sell off a ton of the licenses, and then they take the stuff they have left and they say, well, let's see if we can make some movies out of this. And they make Iron Man. Remember Iron Man? And then shortly after that, a couple other movies came out through Marvel Entertainment, but that's when Disney bought them. So Ike Perlmutter, who had kind of ousted some of the people that worked at Marvel Entertainment, some of the other board members and some of the other co-owners. Like it was him. I forget the other guy's name, but there was I think two of them when Disney ended up buying. I think they were he was maybe CEO and I don't remember who the other guy was. But so these are the guys that owned Marvel Comics and oversaw the sale to Disney. And you think, what a deal, all right? I mean, as happens with a lot of rich people, real jerk. Lots of accusations of incredible racism and sexism coming from him through the years. Extreme penny pinching. Some pretty crazy stories about him literally fishing paper clips out of trash cans, and I don't know if he's responsible for the quality of Marvel's paper over the last decade, but it would not surprise me if he was. So there is, he definitely was not great, but he oversaw Marvel during its most successful time ever, right? And through the entire first decade of basic, almost decade of being owned by Disney. So he apparently took a shot at the Disney board and Bob Iger and tried a kind of unsuccessful, I won't say coup, but an unsuccessful attempt to get one of his guys on the Disney board, which failed and probably was the end of his time at Disney. This was a number of years back. Of course, things take a little while. And due to the layoffs at Disney, so they're cutting 7,000 jobs. 4% of the corporation's global workforce. Disney decided, or Bob Iger decided, to dissolve Marvel Entertainment. So Marvel, when it sold to Disney, it remained its own separate company. Marvel Studios, the people that did the movies, was formed at Disney to do all the movies, but Marvel Entertainment continued to run the TV show division, animation, comics, licensing, merchandising, and all that stuff. Obviously, Disney had their own licensing and merchandising for the movie side of it. But if you wonder, well, why was this on Netflix and Daredevil and Inhumans and all this stuff? That's Ike Perlmutter. That's Marvel Entertainment, right? So you don't see the MCU TV shows until the TV stuff got taken out of Marvel Entertainment and brought over to Marvel Studios and Disney, right? So where he lost control of the movies and TV shows, but he controlled the comics and all the other stuff. So as far as we know, I don't think anything's changed since last week. To the best of our knowledge, Marvel Entertainment is in the process or has been dissolved as a separate company outside of Disney. It's still owned by Disney. They still got checks from Disney, but Marvel Entertainment is now dissolved and everything is being moved into Disney proper. Potentially a good thing, because Ike Perlmutter was laid off, and I don't. There was two other people. His like VP had the list here. Where is it? Co-president and the chief counsel for Marvel Entertainment. So basically, three of the head people at Marvel Entertainment were all let go. Why this is a big deal? Part of it is the devil you know. While Perlmutter may be a nightmare, it's been a successful nightmare. And you kind of know what he does and what he wants and what he doesn't want. I don't know that anyone knows whoever is in charge of Disney now, because there's going to be, layers of people going all the way up to Bob Iger, and this is now just part of an arm. So, Dan Buckley, who's president, will still report to Bob Iger, I assume, but it's not like Marvel is now just, continue to have kind of almost free reign for stuff. So things will change. When there's dissolvement and mergers like this, there tends to be more layoffs. There could be new people come in with some pretty significant ideas of what Marvel Comics should be or not be. Marvel Comics is not a very big company within Disney. It's a very small part of the they're, I think, like 50 million, 60 million out of billions, right? So Disney decides, hey, we need to trim. Oh, this comics division's pretty small. We could probably drop that. Look at everything that happened to DC over the last decade. All your problems there, all your concerns there. Same thing could happen to Marvel. Now, it could happen before, right? I mean, all this stuff could have happened already. Disney could have shut Marvel Comics down at any point. But it seems very different now. So it's possible nothing will happen, right? It's possible that it'll get better. It's very possible it'll get better. Hopefully, Disney realizes the strength of the brand, the strength of the strength of the IP, the want, and they see that Marvel Comics is profitable and wants to continue it. That's the hope. I much like DC, where I never really thought it was possible. It was always possible, but cooler heads would generally prevail, and DC Comics was profitable. And really, at the end of the day, if all you're worried about is the IP, DC is your cheapest way to make new IP happen, because comic writers get paid significantly less than Hollywood writers. You hope Marvel has the same mentality, and there will be layoffs at some point. There will be problems. There will be changes. Hopefully it's all for the better, or at least in the case like with DC, not as bad as it probably could be. And while it may get smaller or more difficult, it at least won't go out of business. And hopefully they're given the ability to grow. So it's going to be a weird time for Marvel. I don't think there's any changes outright, but this is big. This is Marvel Comics Marvel Comics no longer exists as sort of like this separate entity. Marvel Comics is now 100% a thing of Disney. So
is the little thing on the cover that says Marvel Comics going to say Disney's Marvel Comics?
I mean, shouldn't, right? We really don't know. Disney may say, there's a million potentials. And this happened when Disney bought them, right? The same conversation could happen. They could shut them down. They could license them out. They could just want to do a bunch of kids graphic novels and give it to Scholastic and kill the comic line.
No, realistically,
they could greatly expand, and there's a million things they could do. So it could be a really... What's that?
Realistically, though, Marvel Comics is the top comic book producer in the United States.
Yep.
Why would you cancel?
Well, the Western comic.
Western comics, sure. Yes, that's why I said in the United States. Why would you cancel the biggest thing in an industry?
Because the industry's tiny.
Yeah, but the thing is you're still the big fish. You're still the big fish in that little pond. You're still going to be churning around, making money.
Disney's never the smallest fish, and they never are in a little pond. That's the problem, right? At the end of the day, Marvel is a rounding error for Disney. Marvel Comics is a rounding error for Disney. I don't think anything is going to happen. I think there will be some changes, just like there is in DC. New people will come in. There will be changes at the corporate level. There could be some changes at the publication level. But at the end of the day, Marvel Comics, I fully am convinced that Marvel Comics will continue to publish single-issue superhero comics aimed at the Western audience, just like they have since the 1930s. I don't think there will be any significant change, but there will be change. Mm-hmm. DC survived it. Can Marvel? I expect they will. They got smart people that have worked there. They know what they're doing.
Hey, I mean, they improve their paper quality. That's the biggest step in the right direction. You know,
for all the shit that's happened to DC, in my mind, they have come out with incredible content, incredible creators, quality products. There's errors, there's mistakes, there's problems. Don't get me wrong, nothing's perfect. But at the end of the day, they have done really good work, given the short shift that they've received.
Real quick on that DC stuff. Have you talked to them about these cover stock variant covers that can't cover the pages?
That's how cover stock is. That's just how that's just how it cut. But yeah, I expect no significant change from Marvel, but time will tell. You know, at the end of the day, Perlmutter being out is great. He's a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's something to be said about keeping the trains running on time. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. I'm not defending the guy. He's an asshole. From all stories paint him as a very unlikable guy. And definitely, you know, if you hated the fact that they canceled the Fantastic Four comic for years, that's on him. If you hated all the shit they tried to do with the Inhumans, that's him. The paper quality probably is him, all right? A lot of these things are probably... some of this is definitely him, but a lot of this is probably him. So maybe it'll be great. Maybe more than likely things will get better. But this is the biggest upheaval at Marvel. I mean, obviously since the sales in Disney, but since the 90s, right? I mean, this is a massive, massive change. The man that's been one of the major people, if not the person in charge of all things Marvel for 30 years is gone. Things are going to change. So that's fascinating time. There's been no real talk past this.
You know what's going to happen?
Speculation like this, but I mean, nothing has happened this week. There wasn't like mass layoffs or anything. Of course, we're recording this Tuesday night. Who knows what happens tomorrow morning? But okay so far. No Friday 5 p.m. Pink slip delivery to every employee, but so far it's okay. You're saying something?
Oh, it says Marvel's going to go woke now, right? That's just full on.
Yeah. Well, that's the fascinating thing, right? At the end of the day, regardless of what Perlmutter wanted, I mean, Marvel Comics has, definitely become incredibly progressive, even more progressive in recent years. I mean, if you just read some of these stories, he didn't want a Black Panther. Again, this is all hearsay. This is the stories that are being told about this guy. No one was in the room, so who knows? but the word is he basically blocked the Black Panther, or tried to block the Black Panther, or he previously had blocked the Black Panther movie from happening and continued to want to block it from happening because he didn't think a movie with black people would work. He didn't want or Captain Marvel or any of those things. So whatever his reach was, someone stood in his way at the comic level, because we got,
well, I mean,
Miss Marvel, and we got
Quesada and Bendis, and I mean, can't we?
These, Quesada was editor in chief and COO, and Dan Buckley, who's been the president for a long time. I'm sure it never appeared that he had some mandate down to, like, cancel Black Panther, cancel, you can't put this Miss Marvel comic out. That never seemed to hit the comics. Maybe he just didn't care about the comics. Maybe he didn't think that mattered. He was just more worried about the TV shows and movies. But, Marvel, over the last 10 years, especially the last, say 6 to 8, definitely has become incredibly progressive compared to what they were doing, 20 years ago. And some of that's probably, success like Miles Morales. They saw that. I guess you're racist until the money comes in, and then you're like, oh, well, I guess if that's making money, let's do more of that. Which is unfortunate. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Marvel. It's going to be interesting in a couple of years. I'm really hopeful that nothing happens. I'm
guessing
pretty confident nothing will.
I'm guessing that guy greenlit the Hickman orgy X-Men stuff.
Who knows? Again, I would guess Perlmutter had very little to do with Marvel comics.
He was probably more of like, where can we cut corners? And they were just like, yeah, we're not going to put this in the packet that we give you for information.
Yeah, it's unclear. How much, I can't imagine he was involved at any level with the editorial of Marvel. But again, so Comic Speed has actually had a pretty good rundown of a bunch of these claims of things that he did, and one of them was Marvel's graphic novel program. That he was like, why would we keep old stuff in print? This doesn't make sense. Just give us the new stuff. He was against graphic novels and against keeping the older material in print, which is crazy.
Well,
right?
He's probably the reason that we didn't get Guardians of the Galaxy graphic novels before the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
I mean, sure, Again, I doubt specifics came down from him, but he probably cut any sort of budget as far as like, backlog, back catalog printing. Like, no, not a concern. We're not gonna do this. He's not involved at I would think has little to no involvement in the actual, individual products, but from the top level, he dictates where funding goes and where money gets to, and who gets, and who gets to hire, what departments get to hire. And so if he's like, we don't need backstock, just have a couple people do it. We just print the new stuff and don't worry about it.
We don't need Infinity
Gauntlet in war
for $20.
Yeah, we don't need Civil War in print. What does it matter? What do you care about this?
Yeah,
so, we'll see. Kevin, Lane, if you got, it's kind of a very speculative talk here. We don't have too much to say, but it's fascinating.
Remember, I think besides Toy Biz, oh, sorry, Lane. I was just going to say, I think besides Toy Biz, he came from, I may be completely off on this, but I think he came from Coleco, like before Toy Biz. And so
really,
I think you can understand, I'm not saying it's a good idea, it's good business. I think with his business background, to say that it's somebody who's not seeing the value in keeping old stuff in print, you can kind of understand it, because those industries he was in, that probably wasn't a big part of their revenue. Is like, let's keep these ancient action figures from 5, 10, 20 years ago on the shelves. Maybe that's the mindset that he came in with to comics and just had no publishing background or knowledge.
Yeah. No, so he was part of Coleco, but yeah, he Coleco, along with all the Western all the Western video game companies, in the for kind of that first generation of video games, I mean, they all went out of business or something. So he dished out. Yeah, so he was board of director with Marvel Comics, but he was also the co-owner of Toy Biz with Avi Arad. So it was him and Avi Arad. If you recognize from the Spider-Man movies, right? He was producer on a lot of that stuff. They basically kicked out all the other people that were involved. So him and Avi Arad ended up running post bankruptcy, ended up running Toy Biz and Marvel, and that all merged after the bankruptcy, and then that's what sold to Disney was Marvel Entertainment.
Yeah, so my point was, if you're coming from that kind of a business background, if I'm running a toy company, I'm not going to insist that we have Mego dolls on the shelf. I'm going to want new, always new. And that might have been the mindset that he brought to publishing. Instead of looking backwards, what's the shiny new thing we're going to put out?
Right.
Yeah, that's because you always want to push new characters.
So this is, and again, this is what I said about, it's, you may be racist until it starts making money. This is I don't know where this comes from. This is a reference. This is a quote from The Secrets of the Marvel Universe Inside Marvel Universe with Kevin Feige. Blah 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 blah. It's an article on Vanity Fair. This comes from the Wikipedia entry here. It says a person with knowledge of his creative approach said, Ike Perlmutter neither discriminates nor cares about diversity. He just cares about what he thinks will make money. Which, I mean, sure, of course, right? That's these people in these roles. They may pay you lip service, but at the end of the day, he thought a Black Panther movie would not work. So why do it? He was very, very wrong. So,
well, it's the mentality that you've kind of been fighting for a long time, where with toy companies, especially with Marvel and DC, saying keep your staples like in print. I can keep selling a Spider-Man action figure. I can keep selling a Superman action figure, a Batman action figure. Like, even if it is like the same model from it's 5 years old, people will still buy it because it's the kind of the baseline thing, right? Where they're like, oh no, what's new, what's shiny, we got to get it out. Here's an armored Batman. Here's a Batman with a, pink suit. So it's
yeah. I mean, that's, you want someone that can have an eye for that. But if you're looking at the world in 2020, well, what was Black Panther, 2018?
Yeah, 2018, I think.
The first one?
Was it? Or...
If you're looking at the world in 2018 and you're like, nah, a Black Panther movie's not going to make any money. I mean, you've got to fix your head. Like, you're just wrong. Like, I don't want to say it's, because you're old. I mean, plenty of old people make really good decisions. But that mentality of like, no, this is garbage. This Black people won't go see a Black Panther movie. This will lose us money. Should not be running. It should not be a major factor in the largest entertainment company on earth. So you probably realize you're a little out of touch with the modern world. This is a big story, and like I said, does it really affect, the end of, will this really affect Marvel? That's the question at the end of the day. Maybe.
So what happens when you find out Perlmutter was the main guy that canceled your New Warriors reboot?
Get him out. Oh, canceled the reboot? Yeah. Oh, bring him back. I'll put him on my team. Yep, there you go.
Nobody wants a hashtag snowflake character.
Hold on. I'm going to justcomicnews.com. Retailer Ryan Higgins says, bring back Perlmutter.
Not news about a comic book, so we would not appear on justcomicnews.com.
Well,
only officially verified.
Dear Rich Johnson, here's a juicy quote for you. I'll pull some audio from this podcast. Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back with the quote.
You can just retype it and put it on a fake Twitter post. It'll work perfectly.
Yep. No, look, dude's a fucking multimillionaire. No one, don't cry for this guy. Not that anyone would, but yeah. We'll see. See what the next few months are like. We'll see what the next few years are like.
If the door hit his ass on the way out, I'd laugh.
Yeah, I just don't think. I hate to keep going back to it, but maybe this makes me a terrible businessman because I only see the items and the product and the profit on the small level, right? Like if you're looking at Marvel Comics as someone at the top of Disney, again, it's this tiny little line. You've got parks, you've got merchandising, you've got, Disney merchandising has to sell 100 times Marvel Comics, 1,000 times Marvel Comics, easy.
Yeah, but again, they're the big fish.
10,000 times Marvel Comics.
They're the big fish in the Western comic book market. Like, why would you take yourself out of that?
But that's
they still blow DC. Like they still blow DC out of Scholastic.
Why would you stop and pick up the penny? That's Marvel Comics to Disney, right? At the end of the day, Marvel Comics, the publishing of single issue Western comics. Now, some of this may actually change because of the way Marvel's been working with Penguin Random House and
Scholastic,
getting books into print, and if they can actually make graphic novels, Marvel graphic novels, significantly more valuable to the general public, not the comic people, but the general public, that would be huge, right? That and it's not just only 57 minutes late. Not just the comic audience, again, people are like, oh, you want comics at Amazon? Yeah, sure, fucking comics everywhere. That'd be great. More people reading comics is amazing. I'd sell more comics. If more people are reading graphic novels, I don't care where they get them. They'll come to us eventually.
Well, they're not going to Amazon because Amazon's going to ship them like shit. So,
well,
you know how many people I get they come in going, "Oh, I love getting graphic novels." I'm like, and they go, "I tried ordering from Amazon, never again." I was like, "Well." And
this goes to DC too, right? It's not. This is not a Marvel thing. Mm-hmm. The amount of movies, the amount of money and the amount of fans that Marvel and DC movies and TV shows make, and at the end of the day, the graphic novels and comic books sell a fraction of a % of that, right? Like if you could just get 1 or 2% of those people to come over, what a change overnight would revolutionize the industry, right? I'm sure Disney sees this and knows this and wants this, right? Why not? And is it getting kids to Scholastic, right? Is that's why they're doing those deals, because you get them in young, right? I mean, Disney not stupid. The book market for Disney is huge. They have so many books, both from like kids books and board books, and all ages stuff to all the young adult novels. Star Wars books need to slow the
fuck down. Huge. God,
they're not gonna.
So many goddamn Star Wars books.
Star Wars books haven't slowed down since the 90s before Disney bought them. There's been so many fucking Star Wars.
I thought
books.
I could keep up. I can't.
Yeah, there's a lot. So, I'd love there to be a point where, not only are the comics selling hundreds of thousands of copies, but the graphic novels are selling hundreds of thousands of copies at release. That'd be great, but they don't. So it'd be a huge push from Disney, and I think they could do it. They can get those books out there in the right market. But yeah. Or again, like I said before, the Encounter sees Marvel Comics and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, well, let's get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. That's worthless. Cool. All right, we can just ignore this going forward. What'd they do? They didn't do anything. We make the Rocket movie. We make the movie with the tree guy. Cool. We don't need the comics anymore. They did their work. Done. Next. Could happen. Could happen. We'll see.
Doubtful.
I don't know. Hey, before we get out of here, any if there's any last,
I thought you had a
thoughts here
list of news items.
Oh, I do, but whatever. We're at an hour, Kevin. I thought you wanted these short and sweet. Sweet. I got more, but there's nothing that we can really. There's nothing major. I mean, stuff we could talk about. I could burn through this stuff if you want.
Yeah, just rapid fire.
And we'll have nothing to talk about next week. You want rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Put like a cap on each story. Gets how long, Brock? 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
I'll do this. Okay.
Right,
I can do this quick. I can do this fast. News stories from the past few weeks that we did not cover or have not talked about yet because we haven't been recording.
Go.
Mondo. Everyone know Mondo. We were talking about Funko earlier. Lane, your Funko just killed Mondo. What the hell's wrong with?
No, they didn't.
What's wrong with Funko? Huh?
They didn't.
They basically did.
No,
they killed a big.
They shifted everyone in the company, and it's still there.
They laid off.
They laid off a lot of people, but it's still in the company. They still own the property. They're going to be putting more stuff out. Just it's under new management, basically. Yeah.
Sure. Do not take this the wrong way, Lane. I'm sorry, but do not take this the wrong way. Mondo, the extremely high-end, incredibly impressive, well-made, well-crafted company that makes incredible posters and records and what I would call high pop art, got bought last year by one of the shittiest companies on earth, Funko, that makes absolute garbage toys for babies. And Funko decided to close it down, basically, and strip and destroy the entire company. So
they're
congratulations,
throwing away
Funko.
all of that art.
You ruined one of the coolest. I'm being way.
I know that's fine. I don't care.
I would love Mondo. I never bought a single thing by them. I can't afford half the shit they buy. That shit's not cheap. I don't do prints and posters and stuff. I never have. But Mondo's and just their output of real high end prints and real high end then like the G-Clays, right? And they had like all the records. They're cool. We'll see. I don't know. I'll see what Funko ends up doing with Mondo. I think they're kind of.
I think someone else here has a stronger opinion on them than us.
I said 97 minutes late or 57 minutes late. He hasn't chimed in yet, so I don't know. Maybe he's back on his potato internet. But Toby, if you are here and you got something to say about Mondo, love to hear it.
You got about
while I'm waiting for that.
Seconds.
While I'm waiting for that mute button to unmute, no real news. But we do have.
Is this a new news story?
This is a new news story.
Start the timer.
Yeah, I'm
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Last Ronin will be coming to video game consoles. Probably in like 2035 or something like that. There's going to be a Turtles game based on the current or the fairly recent Last Ronin graphic novel series, a God of War style game. Of course, there's like no info on it past that, but they announced that. That's pretty cool. I could see that. That's neat. I think the Turtles games are fun, and this could be a neat.
Didn't they just release?
I'm down with
a collection of the Turtles stuff with a new game
of the old stuff. Yeah, of the old stuff. Yeah.
The Cowabunga.
Well, there was like the new game, the Cowabunga collection, yeah. But there's always new Turtles games, but a like more serious, current gen, big, God of War-ish Turtles game sounds really cool.
Do you even play God of War?
So, no, I never played any of the new ones.
Okay.
Did they announce a studio?
Maybe I had it here, but I deleted it already. I didn't see it. They said it was something, but it was like, it's so like they just announced it. This is not going to happen for years and years. I hate it when they do that. I guess you got to say it now because in 5 years, no one will remember Last Ronin, but at least it got announced. New story.
All right.
We didn't know this is a lot of stuff coming from Warner Brothers in DC. We didn't know if stuff was going to continue, but we have another show, a non-James Gunn show that is going to be around, and that is My Adventures with Superman, the Clark Kent and Lois Lane animated series that got announced a couple years ago, is happening. It was supposed to be on Cartoon Network. It has now moved to Adult Swim, so it'll be, which is part of Cartoon Network, but it is not going to be on HBO Max.
Is it going to be adult?
It's going to be on Toonami too. It's going to be on Toonami too. No, I don't think so. My Adventures with Superman is supposed to be more like young adult ish.
Is he going to get into teenage angst?
It's a cool style. No, they're older. Like they're at the Daily Planet and stuff. But it is younger, a 20-something Clark and Lois. So
they're millennials now.
Yeah, and it is more. It is more Lois and Clark, less. I think a little less Superman. So
got it.
Which is fine. Which is fine. New story.
Start
that clock again.
It.
Here we go.
Got it.
The entire cast of Scott Pilgrim is back for an anime. I don't think it's Japanese. I would call it animation. An animated Scott Pilgrim. I don't know why this says anime. An animated Scott Pilgrim. Is it anime? It can't be anime. It doesn't say anything about who's making it. There's going to be an animated Scott Pilgrim series on Netflix with the entire cast of the movie.
Woohoo!
The end. Next story.
I never watched the movie. I never read the comics. So hit it.
You ever saw Scott Pilgrim?
No.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim's fantastic.
It's a great movie.
I never finished the comic. I read it for a while. It's okay. But the movie's great.
Is the show a sequel or a remake?
Who knows?
Oh, they didn't say? Okay.
I don't think so. I read multiple articles about it.
I saw that they had the voice cast from the movie.
It's got to be a remake with additions, right? Yeah, because it's the same characters, so I would assume it's retelling the same story, but in animation, which is cool. Which is neat.
Next story.
3 to go. Next story. Joe Quesada, former Marvel Comics Joe Quesada, has a new boss, Jeff Bezos. Joe Quesada is working for Amazon now. He's much the way Mark Miller sold out to Netflix.
Good luck peeing in a bottle, Joe. Good luck peeing in a bottle.
Joe Quesada has signed a first-look deal with Amazon Studios. New comics and superhero-based... new comic and superhero-based TV and film projects for Amazon, which... Well, that's neat. I don't know what... Quesada hasn't, what did he...
Yeah, Event Comics.
What did he...
Ash?
Create. Ash? Yeah,
Ash.
I don't think of
Jane.
Joe Quesada...
Yeah.
Was Painkiller Jane not Palmiotti and...
Well, it's both him and... it's Palmiotti and Quesada's group together.
He co-created that one?
I believe so.
Okay.
I know it came out through that.
I never think of Quesada as the guy that created 1,000 characters. I mean, he definitely worked on them, especially at Marvel. He ran Marvel for years and years, but I never... I mean, did he actually... I guess he would be co-creator of Azrael too, but again, I would think a lot of that's Denny O'Neil. But
I think 22 Brides too was under Event.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. How much of that was actually... I don't think that wasn't him, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Ash was, but I think that's it. Yeah, so it's cool. I mean, he obviously ran Marvel for years, and
he's too late to save Comixology.
I think it's a good deal at the end of the day. I think he's a good guy to have around. Interesting to have him on the creation end of stuff, but that's cool. That's cool.
Or maybe he's just... Do you think he's just a talent scout? Like he's going to bring in the actual talent?
I mean, it says that he's creating first looks for Amazon, so that's him. But maybe he's got a team, like he's got a writer's room or something like that he's going to be working with.
All right, hit it.
All right, actually, let's save this one for last. Let's go here. I thought this is actually pretty interesting. Marvel, this actually just was like yesterday, today. Marvel is potentially testing the waters for a Marvel convention. This was CP Cebulski during a C2E2 panel. Someone asked about a Marvel Con, and he said they have Disney conventions like D23. Want to have one for Marvel.
So is it just going to be Marvel 616?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance they could do
where would you have the Marvel convention?
It's got to be New York, right? It's New York,
Burbank.
or Burbank. Yeah, one of the two. So,
they got what's the Star Wars convention?
Well, they moved Celebration around, right? So Celebration goes between Anaheim and Orlando, right? They bopped around to both. So, I mean, I would think if they do a Marvel Con, they're going to do it in New York. But that'd be neat. There was talking about Kevin Feige said when they were doing Ms. Marvel, they wanted to make the Avengers Con like a real thing. Which I'm assuming some sort of Marvel theme. If they hadn't, see, this is the problem. They're in the process of like scaling back the MCU stuff a little bit. This would not be the time to launch a convention because you're just going to talk about the stuff that you've already know. At least when they do with Star Wars, I mean, there's other stuff, so they could have the comics, but it's like I feel like it'd be a weird time to do it. But it's neat. Marvel convention would be cool. Yeah. I think they've done all the comic stuff, and especially if
if they had just a DC convention.
It wasn't a. I'd be the first in line. But if it was a Marvel Con and it was like just movie stuff, I'd be like, well, okay, fine. I guess it's popular, but like a Marvel comics convention where it's the movie and TV, but it's also the comics and the creators and art and vendors, like a comic convention. Like, that'd be really neat.
So would they have to kick everyone out selling DC?
Maybe. Last two, we won't go too deep. I know Kevin is generally light on spoilers, but we had two trailers.
I watched, I think I know what you're going to say, and I watched 1 minute of each.
Okay, so Spider-Verse.
That was about 30 seconds.
Big new trailer.
30 seconds of that, and then what was the other one?
And then Blue Beetle.
Yeah, about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute of each. Yeah.
Okay. So we had trailers for Spider-Verse and Blue Beetle. I will once again say that I will have I will watch Spider-Verse when it's on TV because I could not deal with watching that in the theater. The trailer hurts my eyes so bad. Just watching the trailer for this, I will attempt to watch it when it's on TV. Maybe 10 or 12 sittings. We'll see how long I last. But it's like they're like, oh yeah, all the stuff that made Ryan's eyes bleed in the first one, let's ramp this up doubly. I mean, it looks really neat. It's like the effects are cool, but my eyes can't deal with the constant strobing and like jittery of the animation and the characters. Like, it really hurts my eyes. And damn it, there are dozens of us, I swear. I put this on Twitter and like 3 people replied. They had the same problems. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just me. I'm not crazy.
Start your epileptic seizure group and then move on.
I am telling you.
I don't want you to go through
it. The doctors have said my eyes are so good that like I see beyond the animation.
Yeah,
that
you're full of
people
shit.
See,
your eyes are old and bad. Just accept it and move on.
I'm seeing through the animation and like I'm seeing things that the regular person.
Well, that part
see.
Is true. That last statement is definitely true.
I was gonna say Ryan will now experience the movie like Toby.
It's like I don't need 3D glasses because everything is.
That sound effect.
I also, man, I don't get why Spider-Man became this like multiverse character.
I agree with you on paper, but I have such love for that first movie that I'm there. Don't worry, I'll lead the charge for the team. You're not going to this one. I'll handle it, but on paper, I agree with you. I just treat that movie as like its own little isolated thing, and it's awesome. I would not want that to be the regular Spider-Man adventures.
But it's becoming that.
Yes.
I don't like that.
It's because it's a web. Yeah. Okay? It's a web of multiverses.
We're gonna get that fucking shit in the stupid ass Battle Web movie too.
Are we only talking about each one individually because we're at 3 minutes for?
Oh no, three per trailer, Brock.
Okay. So we have to move on now.
Well. I can only talk about the first minute of the Blue Beetle trailer, which means I don't have a lot to say because the last 10 seconds is what you need, Kevin, to sell you on this movie.
The last 10 what?
Of the Blue Beetle trailer.
Oh.
Yeah.
You just said you only saw the first minute.
No, I watched the whole thing. But if we're only talking about the first half of the trailer.
Oh no, go ahead. It's okay.
The stuff that would sell you on this movie is all in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the Blue Beetle trailer looks fun. Look, Jaime Reyes is fine. I like him well enough. I think I've read every comic he's ever been in. Right? Like I like Ted Kord. Or of course I like Ted Kord. He's my Blue Beetle. So I'm happy we're getting a Blue Beetle movie. I didn't know how much I just assumed that this was going to be a Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle movie because that's who it is. I had zero expectation for them to show anything else. Kevin, in the last couple seconds of that trailer, we see the Bug and in so that's Ted Kord's ship. And in like he's in a cave or he's in some room or something like that. We see there's like series of costumes set up in the back, kind of like the Batcave. It's Ted Kord's suit and Dan Garrett's suit.
Wow.
Yes, I had Ted Kord. I figured maybe there'd be like some kind of fan reference, but that would be the end of it. No, this actually feels like they're going to acknowledge like the full history of Blue Beetle in this movie, just from the little bits that they showed. So. You know, of course I was going to watch it, and I was excited enough. I like Jaime Reyes. I like the new Blue Beetle, but now I am 1,000% in. So who knows? Who knows
fun.
What end they're gonna do anything with it? But at least they're acknowledging the full history of Blue Beetle, and it looks fun. I mean, he is this like Spider-Man-y character, so which is something I think DC is sort of missing in the movies and live action. You maybe could have had that with Flash, but they didn't really go that direction. So,
well, Shazam has always been a weird split, right? Because of the characters and then turns into an adult. So, yeah. Oh, did we not? Or are we not talking Secret Invasion trailer as well?
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot that hit too.
Watch the first minute. I watched the first minute.
I mean that to me. I mean, Spider-Verse didn't really tell me anything. The other trailers did either. Secret Invasion didn't really tell me anything either. It's just like, all right, Nick Fury. I mean, I'm of all the TV shows, I'm pretty excited for Secret Invasion. I like Sam Jackson, and it's potentially the most interesting because it's kind of like a cool like mystery, like body swap thing. But yeah, I don't get much out of the trailer. It looks neat, but there's nothing to really get excited about in it. I hope they do it right because they kind of fucked up the Skrulls, but we'll see. But I don't have much to say about Secret Invasion because I was like, all right, they don't show you anything.
I guess I could have watched the whole thing since I don't have Disney Plus right now. I won't even be seeing it until there's enough content for me to do the Charlie and resubscribe. So,
yeah, to me, it's Nick Fury walking around being.
I don't trust anybody.
What Nick Fury is now, and there's just not a lot. Is that Quake? Is it?
I
what's
think
her face?
so.
It's the Shield in that.
I think so.
It looks. I think she's supposed to be in this. I don't know if it's actually going to be the same
Is she
character
Mockingbird?
or not,
Who knows?
but
Daenerys.
yeah, she's one of the other characters.
Yeah, we don't know who yet, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought, yeah. What the hell's her name?
Who?
From Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just can't remember her name.
That was a TV show at one point.
Yeah,
you mean what's her name? Robin. I'm thinking of the wrong show right now.
What the hell show are you thinking about?
Brock, how are we doing on time for this?
Yeah, about
Is her name
like
Robin Schlotsky or whatever?
6 seconds.
How I Met Your Mother?
That's what's her. That's Hill.
Yeah, Maria Hill.
Maria Hill. Yeah, no, we're talking about the chick that was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the one that was like Quake or whatever.
Oh, I guess just not. I thought I read. Oh, maybe that was just like weird, like fan talk. I know she's not in it. No,
Emily
she's
Clark's
not in it
in
at
it.
all.
Emily Clark, right?
Amelia Clark, yeah.
Daenerys?
Yeah.
But Maria Hill's in it.
I don't know why I thought. Who the hell is that they show in the trailer then? I had to go back and watch that trailer again because I saw it and I was like, "Oh, I guess they're bringing in the lady from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D."
Maybe they're fixing everything from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They were all scrolls.
No. What I'm reading here, it's not her. So I have no idea who that character is. Then I don't think that's Amelia Clark. Maybe it is.
No, Amelia Clark's in it.
Are they recasting her? Yeah, but that's what I'm asking. Is she supposed to be Quake? I have no idea.
Think so.
I'll have to go back. and
we're not talking the Barbie
I'll
trailer,
read an
right?
article. No, yes, I'll read an article from someone who knows what you're talking about, and so they can tell me who all these characters are. I will say the Spider-Verse trailer does something very, very, very good. It corrects the MCU Earth numbering. So if you remember Doctor Strange, where they call the MCU Earth 616, all right, you remember this?
In Multiverse?
Yes.
No, but because that was so long ago.
The MCU universe is correctly named Earth 19999, right? Earth 199999. Yeah, I remember it's two. I remember it's 4 9s or 5 9s. That's the MCU Earth numbering. Let me get the exact number here. Yeah, it's 19999. Yep.
Why?
199. Oh, sorry, I just can't read. 199999. Yes, with 3 9. With 5 9s. That is the MCU Earth numbering. 199999.
Why?
Sure. Comes from somewhere. I don't remember. I don't know where. That's just where it comes from. Why is it 616? That's what Alan Moore says. So that's just where it comes. That's just what it is.
Is that it?
The universe's official designation was revealed in the hardcover of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. A to Z. So it's from one of the books. There you go. Oh, official. Earth 199999. That's the MCU. Spider-Man, Spider-Verse fixed it. So I'm happy for that.
Was that the last news story?
That's it. But the Blue Beetle trailer looks fun.
Yeah.
The Blue Beetle trailer definitely looks fun.
So listeners, since we may have burned through all the content for the next week, please send questions. They may be needed.
Emails.
Well,
Craig,
yeah.
Craig, get your best questions ready.
We'll. Hey, you guys made me do it. You could draw some of this out. No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll have plenty. Well, plenty to talk about next week when we record.
Now,
I'm
is
sure.
Toby on right now?
No, it's Chat GP2.
See, it's way better if Toby actually doesn't say anything because then I don't have to edit him in. It's much easier if he just stays quiet.
Because I was about to say, now that we've hit around the 1 hour, 20 minute mark, we can now go to Toby's WonderCon synopsis.
He's probably still watching the game.
Unmute himself. I'm sure he is screaming at us, trying to get words in edgewise this entire conversation. He's still muted, and no one can hear him talk. So while we wait for Toby to figure out how his mute button works,
He might not even be sitting at his computer.
Yeah,
let me say this.
Are the Warriors playing tonight?
For the listeners of the Comic Conspiracy podcast, I get a little heads up here. 2 weeks. We're gonna have a fun podcast. We got something cool to talk about. Not next week, the week after. Just something we've been working on for a while.
Something is brewing.
Something, yeah. You guys are getting all you wonderful listeners are getting a little bit of a heads up.
This isn't dropping 2 weeks on comic news. This is dropping here.
Yep, this is not going on Just Comic News. It's just a rumor. Nothing official yet here, but the episode we record in 2 weeks, we're gonna have some fun stuff for you. Something. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not fun stuff for you. I have no idea. Maybe you'll hate everything. But we have something to talk about in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So it'll be a fun episode.
2023 is a significant year in the history of Comics Conspiracy.
It is. It's the 30th anniversary of our store.
Yes.
So we're doing something fun for our 30th anniversary.
Because you've owned the store for how long now?
I bought it in 2006. So you do that math.
Why do I have to do that math? 17 years?
I started working there in 97.
Yeah.
So also do that math.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't. What, 97, 2007, 17, and then 20. So 26 years. Long time. I still have no idea what I'm doing. I just no clue.
He screams at us all the
every
time.
Day.
Like, ah! We're like, yeah, shut up. It's
every day. Yeah. October 1st would be my 30th anniversary of walking into Comics Conspiracy. I'd been open. Was it like July,
maybe
August, September, October. So like 3 or 4 months. When I moved here. What if I had gone to R&K? What would this world be like if I had gone to R&K? The world will never know. I went to Comics
That's
Conspiracy.
on Earth 616 you went to R&K.
It is. Earth 199999.
That's okay.
Then on Earth 666 I went to Legends. And I became Toby. It's incredible. It's just the craziest story.
I started with R&K too, so.
Yeah.
I started at Brian's Books at Village Green, man. I
thought you went to Pendragon. I thought you went to the other
Me?
R&K. You went to Brian's?
So I went to Brian's when it was a Village Green, like in Santa Clara by my mom's house. And I went to R&K when it was near the Taco Bell, just up the road from there. So I've always been apparently in the proximity of two comic book stores at any given, within a mile of each other at any given time. So
I went to Pendragon.
You did?
Yeah, I started at Pendragon way back when I was like 10.
Nice. Kevin, first shop. But then we'll
first
get out of
shop
here.
In California or first shop?
First shop ever. Well, okay, yeah, I guess in California. I guess like in the Bay Area.
Comics and Comics. And then because I moved out to California for high school, and so I lived exactly at the midpoint between Comics and Comics and Lee's Comics. I could bike to both of those in the exact
San Mateo
amount
store?
of time. No, Palo Alto.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah. That moved like three times.
Yeah, it's like Palo Alto, San Mateo, and then he had the 2 stores for a while.
Well, San Mateo was its own. He had an original little one that then moved, and then it moved by Costco was the final stop.
The Mountain View
was the same store. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that was my first out here.
All right.
And everything, listeners, lest you think all of that was just random chitter chatter, all of that is actually relevant to our topic 2 weeks from now.
Well, before we say anything else, let's end this podcast here. Thank you all very much for everyone listening to this podcast, especially our top tier Patreon backers, including the Lowdown Podcast with Luke and Derek on Spotify and YouTube, Joe Duff, Kelsey May, Craig Anderson at clearpathcoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, and Talon Bray. Thank you all very much for your continued support of us at patreon.com/comic conspiracy. You can go there and kick us a couple bucks if you would like. Always appreciate the support. You can find all our previous episodes at comicconspiracypodcast.com and at Apple Podcast. You can go to comicsconspiracy.biz and buy comics from us there for mail order or pickup.
Just so
if you go to conspiratedbrock.com,
just so everybody knows, we do have Tom King variants. If your store sucks ball sacks.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. The new Tom King
they're
sketch covers.
Wow.
I'm sorry, sketch covers. Yeah, in stock, ready to ship. What did I say? Comics. Yeah, there we go. Conspiratedbrock.com. That's Brock's website. You can go read his stuff over there. Charlie's Doctor Who podcast called The Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. You can go, it's once a month until new episodes air. Kevin's weekly interview series called Between the Panels of fanbasepress.com. Interviews a bunch of cool creators. And I saw Jeff Johnson on the list for this month.
Yes, Jeff.
Fans of the podcast.
Jeff and Shelley Bond.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. I still have not watched those Vertigo interviews that she did.
Oh,
because I backed the Kickstarter. Yeah. I still need to watch those.
I was honored because I watched all of them. I was honored because on the Sandman one, she led off the Sandman one with my question for Neil.
Oh,
because you got to submit questions.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I have them just sitting in my inbox. I haven't watched them yet.
They're good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I really need to. My wife Leanne has her artwork up at leannehill.com as well as etsy.com/shop/leannehillart. If you're on Twitter, you can follow myself, Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. Kevin is at Kevin Sharp in the stores, Comics Con store. And check out Geekbox. We recorded an episode last night. And Brian had to go very suddenly because his dog was attacked in his backyard by a cat and had to take his cat to the vet. So I don't know if that episode has gone up yet.
Did you say his dog got attacked by a cat and he had to take the cat to the vet?
Or it's the dog to the vet. It scratched his face. The cat took off.
The cat mauled his dog. Got it.
Well, they get in fights. They scratch him in the face and shit. And our good friends over at Manga Machinations. Don't forget to check those guys out. All right, that is it. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everyone.